What's up, HHN addicts? Awkward Arsic here. There. So we filmed. I'm gonna hate you.
It's time to get your fix with Awkward Arsic and Mr. Fifth. Coast to coast coverage of Universal's Halloween Horror Nights begins now. HHN addict, embrace the sickness.
So we're doing a realistic dream event. So we're gonna do 8 mazes, a couple scary zones, 1 terror tram, 2 to 3 shows.
Sure. So we'll start with my 8th, which was Scream. I think it'd be really awesome to see Scream.
What's up?
You have to admit, if they use all of the different movies, it could be an interesting maze.
Popular slasher icon we've only seen once before, and not so good terror tram, but I agree that I think it needs to be done justice at least once, right?
Well, let's be honest. You've said that they can recycle and use things over again. Completely agree, but it is nice to see some things that we haven't seen.
Agreed.
So I think that that would definitely be one that I'd like to see. There's some great, the garage door scene. Tell me you can't see that.
Okay. My number 8 though is Evil Dead 2 / Army of Darkness. We've seen the Evil Dead remake. Once again, not the best movie to maze translation. Ash vs. Evil Dead was just announced. That's gonna be really cool, but I do want to see the originals translated into maze. Get the room with all the laughing deer head, the couch, you know, him fighting his own hand, all that good stuff.
I guess my thing is I almost want to say, like, let's see how they do on this one.
Yeah.
Because you might want to change that.
Alright, so what's your number 7?
That would be American Horror Story. I'd like to see it be just Asylum. Back in 2006, when the event first came back, that was a featured maze. Well, it wasn't American Horror Story, but it was an Asylum maze. And it was fantastic. It was in the Shrek queue, went all the way through. But I think taking the characters from American Horror Story and pushing those into an actual full-fledged maze would be awesome.
And you get Bloody Face, you get a serial killer Santa Claus, you get a Nazi doctor, you get the mutated person in the playground, perverted nun.
Yes.
Damn, everybody in one maze. I think that probably would be the best American Horror Story maze.
And this one would be kneeled over the desk saying, "Spank me, spank me." You know it.
Gary's over there right now. Don't say that. She's just gonna go home and do it. That's true. I'm trying to help you out, brother. Stop looking at me. So my number 7 is The Thing. We've seen The Thing Assimilation in 2010 based off of the prequel, but I want to see it again. I thought the puppet effects in that maze were good, especially for it being the first time we've seen puppets. And now that we've seen American Werewolf in London and Alien vs. Predator, John can kind of push it over to the next, you know, the next level.
I'd wish for it, since it does take place in a cold environment,
Yeah.
get it back in a soundstage.
Oh, throw it in 747?
Yeah.
Maybe one day. One day.
Yeah, I can see it happening. Number 6.
Yeah.
So my number 6 would be It. The new It.
Oh.
I like the old one, and I thought it was great, but I think the new one definitely has some funky stuff going on.
Scary.
with it.
The original was pretty good, but at the same time it dragged on. It was a mini series, so it was what, like 3 hours thrown together. But this one has like that scary house, the sewers, of course, from the original.
Oh, as soon as I saw that, I was like, yep, see
Yeah.
that, and then the dolls at the end.
So my number 6 is Titans of Terror in its own maze. So I would love to see Jason, Freddy Krueger, Leatherface, Michael Myers, Chucky, and Hellraiser or Pinhead all thrown into one maze. Because we've talked about it before, I feel like reusing these slasher icons over and over again can get repetitive, right? But we don't want to take up, or at least I wouldn't want all those characters to take up their own mazes. So you throw them all into like an all-night drive-in theater facade, and then you have all of them attack you for the finale scare. I think that'd be fucking amazing.
Throw the usher in there so you can get
Oh.
icon lovers will all be happy.
Damn. If we ever got an icon at Hollywood, I think that would probably be the best icon we could ever see. So.
Okay, so my number 5, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I have to change my pants right now. Killer Clowns was my number 2.
Number 2?
So it's one of my favorite horror movies. Probably one of my favorite movies of all time, just because it's so cheesy.
I think that this property would be a property that could completely redeem the 3D maze quality.
That's true. When you go to the carnival at the very end and that funhouse maze, it's all colorful as well. That cotton candy could be painted with neon paint. Everything would just pop in that maze, and I think the costumes alone would be terrifying because those clowns are actually really scary.
Has the environments, has the smells, popularness of, I'm making up new words.
Popularness, like the cult
awareness,
classic. Yeah,
awareness.
yeah.
And you could do the big character though.
Oh my gosh, the dinosaur clown or whatever it's called.
Oh, a second time, wow.
So my number 5 is the Conjuring franchise. There's so many characters. You have the Nun, you have the Crooked Man, the Witch, Annabelle. You have 2 movies worth of environments, 2 movies worth of characters. Those 2 movies are the scariest, some of the scariest movies made in the last 10 years.
Definitely, it was my number 2.
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't really have anything to add. You were really thorough on that one. Number 4 would be one that you tried to convince me for a very long time that we needed, and I was anti.
What?
And I still feel like it's past its time, but to bring in something new, I would go for it, would be Cabin in the Woods. Because I finally got around to watching that, saw some of the environments, saw some of the scenes, and went, yeah, I can see where he's coming from.
This guy was so against it too. I don't, what exactly, just because it came out like probably 7 years ago now?
It was a successful movie, but at the same time it wasn't something that is gonna, like if somebody goes, what's your favorite movie? Mm-hmm. It's not gonna be in that list for everybody. Or at least in my mind, maybe.
The elevator scene alone as the
Great
ending
mix.
would be amazing. You have a killer unicorn. Who doesn't want to see a killer unicorn?
He only brought that up because he knows I'm gay.
Pretty
like
much.
You thought that if you threw in the unicorn,
you would like
the
fall
unicorn,
for it.
yeah.
Also on my list, that was my number 1. So my number 4 is It.
Yep.
We already talked about it. Trailer is phenomenal. The character looks scary. People hate clowns. That alone is just gonna make for a good maze. It'd probably be like the number 1 rated maze. So let's jump into your number 3.
I would like to see Psycho.
Oh, that's interesting, but great choice.
I think it could be done. You take just scenes that we've already seen from House of Horrors, like when you went through the taxidermy room, and so many things that you could do with that, but I think it's a creepy... For me, real is scarier than make-believe sometimes.
Yeah.
So like when you have a real person after you, or you have...
Something more grounded?
Yeah, like when we talked about, I mean obviously there's not anybody that's been burned in a fire that did bad things to kids that goes around and screws with your dreams in real life, but in the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street, it had a more real feel. It was like that, there was emotion there that you didn't have, so that freaked me out a little bit more. So I think Psycho would be fun to see.
So my number 3 would be Trick or Treat. It's a cult classic. It didn't do so well because it came out directly into DVD, so I don't think it has that awareness that other movies have. Stop making that face, dude. Alright? It's fantastic. So it's just one of those traditional Halloween movies. I love watching it every year on Halloween. My only worry would be kind of like the transitions from each story because, you know, they're all interweaved in the movie. So I don't know, do you think it could work?
They could do it.
Yeah?
And there's enough of a fan base that it would probably do alright. I wish that I could have got into it. I tried for your sake because you were like, please sit down and watch it, and I tried. Well,
hopefully the second movie has more material to work with. Maybe you'll like that one more, and then they can maybe combine both of those together. So.
It just felt like an after-school special to me.
Yeah,
like a
traditional
ABC
Halloween.
after school. Like, I just got home from school. Let's watch a scary movie.
If he's not in the next segment of this video, it's because I murdered him. But it's all good.
My number 1 was I'd like to see Freaks become a maze. I would love to see that concept from the scare zone that we saw, what year was it?
2008, 9?
I thought it was a fantastic scare zone. I think it would make a fantastic maze. You could pull in clowns.
Oh my gosh.
You can pull in all the freaks. You could have the carnival.
You have like Dog Man, Chicken Man,
alligator.
Yeah, the lizard guy.
You have to spell it with a Z because...
No, not anymore of that.
If you don't do the Z, it's not cool.
They actually strayed away from the Z at the end of Scare Zones, right? Have we seen that in a while?
You just probably jinxed it.
Actually, I want to kind of lead into that because that was your number 1, right? So we've covered all our mazes?
Yes.
Okay, so my Terror Tram idea is actually Freaks with Hollywood Harry. I've always wanted to see Hollywood Harry kind of grow into an icon role. I thought he was a great character in the Terror Tram. If he recruited all the freaks, so you have those, you have his clown posse, I think that'd be an amazing Terror Tram, and it would kind of bring a little bit more life to the Terror Tram, even though it's gotten stale these past few years.
I can see it. For my Terror Tram, it was just kind of a simple change. I'd love to see it move to Europe and do classic monsters.
That'd be perfect.
I'd love to see them come to life. I think that if Murdy is still around for that, I think that it would be amazing.
I think he's always mentioned that as well on Twitter. Like every single year, he's like, I'd love to do it, but he does acknowledge the fact that, you know, people nowadays don't really find classic monsters very scary, unfortunately. But they're great characters, so I'd love to see them come back. Now, do you have any scare zones on your dream lineup?
I kind of feel that scare zones in Hollywood have always kind of been an afterthought.
Yeah.
I mean, with the exception of the front one, there's really not much of anything put into it. So I will let you give some thoughts on scare zones. My thoughts are do them right.
So I have 4 scare zones written down. One would be a black and white classic monster scare zone. Orlando did that, I believe 2 years ago. So they had a half cast for modern horror movies, and then another half cast of classic monsters. My number 2 would be 28 Days Later. Yeah, we have zombies all the time. These are technically not zombies. It's people filled with the rage virus, so it's kind of like rabies and stuff, but they're running, they're fast-moving zombies. It's not The Walking Dead. Number 3 would be American Werewolf in London as a scare zone in Baker Street. It would be cool if they actually had a double-decker bus put out there. If they put maybe 1 or 2 of the puppets from the maze somewhere in the corner where they can like have it, I don't know, like just one of those things where it can be like a cool throwback to us having the maze, but still have that presence of one of my favorite movies. So might not work, but I would love to see it. My number 4, and I think this is long time coming. I don't think we'll ever get it when John is working at the event because he doesn't play video games and stuff like that. But Resident Evil in the Metro sets. So those are my scare zones. Do you have any shows?
All I'd say is bring fucking Bill and Ted back.
Yes. I had Academy of Villains on mine. I had 3 shows written down. My other one that I'd love to see come back is Slaughter World. The last show that I have written down is Hollywood Harry Show, kind of similar to Carnival of Carnage.
Did you have a thing for Hollywood Harry?
I love Hollywood Harry. Like, he would be our Jack the Clown. Carnival of Carnage show, if you guys haven't seen, by the way, is just Jack the Clown killing like numerous victims with Chance the Clown. So ours, I know he doesn't have a woman. I don't think they should introduce one. I want him to be a little bit more menacing, a darker character, not as jokey as Jack the Clown. So that's my last show.
The only other thing that I would throw into the whole show aspect is there was a show that would take place in the animal show, Animal House of Horrors. They used the animals that were in the show, but it was just a twisted animal show. A person that would sit down, they strapped them into a chair with their hands up actually, and then they put tarantulas in their hands, they put a huge snake around them, and then they asked the question like, what do these creatures eat? And the answer was maggots. Well, while they didn't throw buckets full of maggots on the volunteer, it was white rice that was cooked.
Oh gosh, so that would kill me, man. I would like freak out so bad.
There were times that the people you'd see the tarantulas go flinging across the arena.
Gosh.
There was one time where I watched somebody piss their pants.
That'd be me. Side entertainment outside, not a magic show, guys. Who else doesn't love magic?
Didn't he say that he wanted to be a magician if he could have any superpower?
Any talent in the world.
Any talent in the world he wants to be.
If I could have like a talent, somebody wants to sing, somebody wants to dance, I want to be a really good magician, guys. That's my dream. If I could be a superhero, my powers would be magic related. So I'd be throwing cards, kind of, you know, cool stuff. Throwing cards that kill people, you know what I mean?
And then as soon as you have like the bad villain coming, you're just yanking out rabbits and tossing them by the ears.
Let me know in the comment section down below, guys. Do you think the powers of being a magician would be cool?
Before you go and play with your wand, why don't you close this up?
Alright. Well guys, let us know down below if you agree with our dream lineup. Let us know what your dream lineup would be, your top 8 mazes, your top shows, scare zones, all that good stuff. And if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Subscribe to this channel for more HHN content. We have a ton of top 5 videos coming out in the next couple of weeks. And that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it. Alright, we'll see you guys. Bye.